2023 Grand Prix for the F1 World Championship, and, because because we're half an hour early to the race, I'm going to do a little bit of AstCa news for you guys. So, hasn't been too much happening this week. Of course, we've had the news for Transformers 1, which is the title for the new animated film releasing next year, based on Cybertron, which is something we've never really seen in terms of the films. So, I'm going to be really excited to see that next year. Beyond that, we know some of the cast that are joining the film, such as Scarlett Johansson as Alita 1, Bumblebee, played by Keegan-Michael Key, who I'm very much looking forward to, and Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime. You guys know from my video on it that I'm really looking forward to that particular casting, because it's Chris Hemsworth playing Optimus Prime. Hell yes. Now, apart from that, not an incredible amount else has happened this week. I'm just going to pull you guys a little bit further forward, if I can. Nope. Okay, that's the best we're getting. That'll have to do. So, yeah. What else has happened this week? Frankly, not an astonishing amount. The Forza Horizon 5 update has come out. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have got it yet, which is quite a pain, to be honest. I'm kind of gutted about that. But, honestly, I'm not too bothered. I'm sure it'll come to me eventually. Beyond that, not too much else has happened. We know the release date. Well, we have known for a couple of weeks now the release date for Lego 2K Drive, which is going to be the 19th of May, and I'm looking forward to that game as well because it looks pretty damn good. It looks very similar to Sonic All-Stars Racing Transformed, if you guys remember that, as I think I've mentioned a couple of weeks ago. But looking forward to that game because a lot more information is coming out about it this week. And of course, we have had some Eurovision news. We know that the pre-party's taken place, so preparations are warming up now for the contest. I can't wait for that because yes, I do like Eurovision. I only started watching it last year, really, but I do like it, to be honest. And of course, on Friday we did have the much anticipated release of Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the sequel to the 2019 smash hit Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I haven't played it, I haven't actually got the game yet, but I have heard a lot of good things about it, so when I do get to play, hopefully, it's going to be as good as people are saying, because from what I've heard, it's absolutely brilliant. So, just have to wait and see how it turns out as a game. Now, in the coming week, we have got the second Marvel film of the year releasing, and it's of course none other than Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Now, we know this is going to serve as like the end of the Guardians story, which is quite sad in my opinion. For me, I haven't really gotten to know the Guardians too well despite watching everything. I don't feel like I know them as well as I should, considering this is basically the end of their story. So, I'm hoping that James Gunn does manage to wrap this up quite well, because of course, he won't be doing anything else Marvel related now as he is the head of the DC film studio, so yeah, I think this will be probably James Gunn's swan song in the MCU as well, which, let's see how that goes, because we know opinions of Phase 4 and so far 5 have been a bit rough, so hopefully James Gunn is able to pull out a bit of a masterpiece and kind of bring the MCU back into the reputation it so thoroughly deserves, because I have personally really liked the Phase 4 and 5 films so far, but of course there's been a lot of people who haven't, but I'm hoping that James Gunn can bring back the reputation of the MCU that it once had. Now, I'm going to move into some pre-race news, because, well, the sprint race yesterday was just chaos. Oh my god. You had George Russell's and Max Verstappen's collision in turn 3 of lap 1, which, of course, caused quite a bit of drama between the two, if you watched the post-race interviews and that sort of thing. Of course, Yuki Tsunoda's tyre went flying off again, which put him out of the sprint race, and Logan Sargent couldn't even take part, because in the qualifying for the sprint race, he broke half of his car quite severely. so that knocked him out of contention for the sprint race altogether. Now, moving on to the main race today, actually, we have one person starting from the pit lane, two, and those are Esteban Ocon and Nico Hulkenberg. Now, Nico Hulkenberg is because of a setup change performed overnight, which you're not really supposed to do, which has resulted in a pit lane start for Nico Hulkenberg. Now, as for Ocon, I can't remember what his reasoning was. I know Alpine across the weekend have had some issues, to say the least, such as Pierre Gasly breaking his car quite severely in the sprint race qualifying, and then in the sprint race itself having the car kind of burst into flames, which was quite scary to watch as it was burning for quite some time, to be honest. It was really going for it, so hopefully Alpine have ended their woes for today and can hopefully get on with a pretty good race. Now, I've done some pre-race calculations on how long this race should take. Should being the operative word. And we have, in theory, an 88-minute race. Because it's 51 laps, and the lap record, set by Charles Leclerc in 2019, is a 1 minute 43. So I times that by 51, the lap time, and that gave us roughly 88 minutes. So, provided nothing goes wrong, although this is Baku, so that's likely, to say the least, we should have roughly 88 minutes of a race. Now, predictions for who's going to win this thing. In my opinion, could be any of the top three, because we have Charles Leclerc on pole, which, by the way, was a complete shock. He has been brilliant in the qualifying sessions. Behind him was Sergio Perez in second, and behind him is Max Verstappen in third. So, really, any of those top three could win. Now, the Aston Martins, they've slipped back a bit this weekend, but that is probably just a bit of a blip. You know, we've had a month off, so the drivers need to get used to the car again. So my guess is that is just a little bit of a blip, and probably by Miami next week, the Astons will be back on the pace, but this weekend seems to be Ferrari's time to shine. Now, who else do we have to consider here? Well, we have to consider the Mercedes duo, obviously, George Russell and Lewis Hamilton. Despite them starting quite far back today, I think in 10th and 11th, they're going to have some work to do. The Astons are a bit further forward, and I can't remember what positions they're in. We'll find out when the race grid is announced, or re-announced, I should say. But yeah, there's a lot of teams today who are a little bit out of order, such as the Williams. I think the Williams is quite high up on the grid in 9th, so yeah, this may not be the most straightforward race of the season, which, hey, I'll take, because we know Australia was chaotic in all the wrong ways. Frankly, in too many of the wrong ways, but we move. Yeah, Baku always produces an interesting race, to say the least. There's never been a Baku that I've watched where I thought, that was a bit boring. So hopefully this race should be good. As for who's going to win, I really don't know. It could be basically anybody. It could be Max Verstappen getting his 4th win of the season. Yeah, he's won them all so far. Sergio Perez getting his first. Charles Leclerc getting his first. It could be anybody, really. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see how things go after Turn 1. Because, of course, we know Baku has a habit of producing some Turn 1 chaos, as it is a very tight left-hander, and a very narrow left-hander at that. So, let's see how 20 F1 cars barreling through that go, and see how many come out the other side. Because, yeah, let's be honest, the Baku Turn 1 has a record for shrinking the field quite quickly. So let's see how that progresses. We are now about 20 minutes away from the race start, so yeah, I just want to know if anyone here is watching, what you think's going to happen today. Who do you think's going to DNF? Do you think we'll get any DNFs? How many do you think we'll get? Who do you think's going to make up the podium? Is it going to be the 3 drivers already in the top 3? Or is somebody else going to come in to swoop one of those places? Will it be a Mercedes? Will it be an Aston Martin? Will it be Carlos Sainz in the other Ferrari? Who knows? But yeah, this is like the first big chunk of races because I believe it's 5 races in the next 6 weeks. So we're going to be busy here, guys. We got Miami next weekend, which is always, well, which was pretty fun last year, to be honest. That turn 13, 14, 15 section, the really tight chicane, I think has been modified to make it a bit quicker because all the drivers basically had to come to a dead stop to get around it, which was not the best thing. I know, personally, playing F122, I was having to do that at the very least. Like, I was basically having to just grind to a halt to just try and get through it. So I think that section has been redone to make it, a bit more, to make it a bit quicker, and a bit more maneuverable, because it was an incredibly tight chicane. So hopefully that's fixed next weekend. And of course, next weekend is the first home race of the season. Well, no, the second home race of the season, and it is for Logan Sargent. So 2 of our 3 rookies have had their home races, or will have had their home races by next weekend. Of course, the last one is Nick De Vries, who will get his home race in Zandvoort. So he's going to have to wait a little bit longer, but it will come around soon enough. But yeah, I'm really hoping Logan Sargent's luck next weekend at least improves. Because this week, as I said, with the whole breaking his car and not being able to take part in the sprint race, didn't really help him out too much. Yeah, so hopefully Logan has some better luck next weekend, and hell, he may even start turning things around today. Now, Baku is one of the longer tracks on the circuit, coming in at 6.004 kilometers, I think. Again, we'll find out in a few minutes once the race rundown starts. So we'll get all the information in a few minutes' time. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one, guys. It's been a month without F1. Yeah, we never really get that sort of break until the end of the season. The summer break's only 3 weeks. We have had a longer break now than we will have in the summer. So it's going to be... I'm looking forward to this, but I'm also a bit nervous because these drivers haven't been properly racing in these cars for a while. Now, they had that sprint race yesterday, but of course, a lot of it was spent under the yellow flag, then the safety car, thanks to the Sonoda incident, because of course his tyre came off again, and then, yeah, it was just all a bit chaotic yesterday, so hopefully they're able to fix it today, and then give us a very good race for 51 laps, because long circuit, short amount of laps. Like, that's the best way to remember it. If it's a shorter track, there's going to be more laps, but if it's a longer track, way less. Like, Monaco is one of the shortest races, because I think it's the longest track on the calendar, and it actually goes over the rules of how long an F1 track can be, but because Monaco is so iconic, they've kept it. So Monaco is one of the shortest races in terms of lap time, but that's because every lap takes so long to do. So I think Monaco is either the race after Miami or the race after that. So we're either 2 races away from Miami or 1. No, Monaco, sorry. So we're pretty close to Monaco, frankly. And then Silverstone is not too far. I believe that's going to be end of June-ish time, so that'll be interesting. And that's usually around the time that the next F1 game releases. In fact, last year, or 2021, the game launched on the weekend of Silverstone, so that was pretty cool. I know it was one of those, so I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but I know F1 21 or 22 released on the Silverstone weekend, so that was a great bit of marketing, to be honest, because for those of you who don't know, the first ever Formula 1 race was at Silverstone back in 1950. It was the first ever race of the first World Championship. So Silverstone has quite a bit of history to it. Of course, it did disappear in the 80s and 90s, being swapped out for Brands Hatch, but eventually it did return home to Silverstone and has stuck around ever since. To be honest, I love Silverstone. It's a great track. But of course, today we're at Azerbaijan, a very challenging track for the drivers. Winning this race isn't an easy one. Like, hell, finishing the race isn't an easy job. But when they do it, it's good to watch, because this track really puts the drivers to their limits, because there is a lot of complicated areas, such as the castle section. That is very hard to get around for a lot of drivers. We have seen some drivers this weekend even get caught out on the castle section, such as Nick De Vries and I think Pierre Gasly, yes, when he broke his rear wing. So that's a section to look out for in terms of DNFs. Like, if one's going to happen, it's more than likely going to be there, if not at turn 1. Like, turn 1 in the castle section are the big DNF zones. Like, that is where they happen. So keep an eye out for those sections, because I know in the past a lot of drivers have been caught out. Most famously, Charles Leclerc a few years ago, as it spawned quite a meme of a team radio. If you know, you know. So yeah, this race is a hard one to finish and even harder to win. So it's going to be quite a race of attrition today, guys. Like, I'm looking forward to this, because as I said, it's really going to put the drivers to the test. So we are going to see the best of these drivers today, I think. But yeah, we are on round 4 of 23. Yes, there are still 19 more of these to go. Yeah, 19, guys. This is going to be a long season. Well, no, correction. This is the longest season in F1 history, so yeah, buckle up. It's going to be a long one, but who's going to be the champion by the end? I have no idea. It could be Red Bull and Max Verstappen getting their third. It could be Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin getting his third. Or it could be Charles Leclerc getting his first. Or anybody else. It could be Lewis Hamilton's 8th. It could be George Russell's first. It could be any number of drivers' championships. This is literally anyone's championship at the moment. Of course, as the season progresses, we'll start to get a clearer idea of who's probably going to be champion. However, we can't fully commit with confidence that it is going to be one specific person, until probably pretty close to the end of the season. And of course, as the months go on, the races will get closer together, because the season finishes in November, and we're already pushing towards May. So the races are going to start coming thick and fast after the summer break. So get ready for quite a few races on the bounce. Of course, I don't think they'll go any higher than a triple header, because of course that's what they're used to doing at the most. If they go to a quadruple header, that'll just be chaos. So yeah, expect a few triple headers after the summer break, I would reckon. But yeah, we are now about 12 minutes out from the race start, so I'm just going to quickly tune into the race commentary to see what's going on the grid. 1 second, people, just let me get my headphones on and start the race. And I'm back. Okay, whew. Let's see what's going on the grid. Okay, the national anthem has just been completed. Okay. There's currently an interview with Toto Wolff going on. Yeah, this race could be quite interesting for Mercedes. They are quite low down in comparison to the other cars. However, the sprint race yesterday was promising for the Silver Arrows, so potentially they could make their way up the grid quite significantly. Will they get to the podium? Potentially. As for the Red Bulls, they were really dominant yesterday. Their only real problem was Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari. I don't know how, but his skills just switched on yesterday, and he secured P2 in the sprint race, which was just really good to see for Charles Leclerc, because as we know this season so far, he hasn't had much luck. In fact, Australia, he DNF'd on the first lap, which actually prompted him to write a song, which is now in the top 10 of the charts. So, yeah, that happened over the month. Yeah, that was a weird one, I can't lie. The song's good. It is quite somber, because it is called Oz 23, so it wasn't going to be the happiest song on earth, but it is good, so would definitely recommend checking it out. And he is quite the piano player, I have to admit. But yeah, it was quite a good song. I was quite surprised that he actually did it, because I think he joked about it at some point during the Australian Grand Prix weekend, and then he did it. So yeah, good on you, Charles. I can't lie, that takes some guts. Yeah, we're now about 10 minutes away from the race start, so in the next few minutes we are going to see the drivers step in their cars and then do the formation lap, and then whoop, off we go for 51 laps of the Baku circuit. And of course, this is one of the street tracks of the year, so this one isn't a permanent circuit. This is just, well, I can't remember if this one's semi-permanent or fully permanent, or not permanent at all, because I know there are some street tracks that are like semi-permanent, such as Albert Park actually is semi-permanent, but not all of it. But Baku, I'm pretty sure it's just a street circuit, like Monaco. Like, that's only an F1 track when F1 rolls around. That, throughout the rest of the year, that is just a normal road. Oh, right. I really can't wait for this race, guys. I can feel this is going to be good, so I think we're going to have a bit of a fun time on our hands today. Probably going to be a couple of yellow flags, I'd guess. Hopefully no red flags, because we know in Australia they were causing quite a few problems. Well, such as Australia now holding the record for the most red flags in one race at 3. So hopefully this week we don't reach that number of red flags again, because, yikes, that was not fun. But I think we'll just have to wait and see how this goes. And I think, I think this race is going to be a little bit chaotic, but nowhere near to the extent that Australia was, because, let's face it, Australia was just too chaotic. So hopefully we have a little bit of a cleaner race today. Hopefully we have some chaos thrown in, because we don't want too clean of a race, because that will just create a little bit more boringness. So hopefully we get a semi-clear race today, but we get what we get in the end. It's Formula 1. You can't predict what's going to happen, really. Everyone could crash coming into turn 1. Let's hope that doesn't happen, because that'll be the quickest race in Formula 1 history, but you never know, it could. That's the scary part, is that it could happen. Everyone could crash coming into turn 1. But hopefully, that is not going to be the case. I have probably just jinxed this race, and all these drivers. My bad. But let's wait and see. We're about 5 minutes out from the start now, so we're probably going to start getting the little bit of track information and then the grid lineup in the next couple of minutes. But yeah, round 4 of 23. I don't know if I've picked a brilliant season to start this or a terrible season to start this race commentary thing. To be honest, I think I've picked a good one, because, more races equals more streams, and of course more streams, more content, and also, I really enjoy doing these, I can't lie. Like, I was of course a bit nervous for the first one, because I'd never done it before, but now that I've done a couple, I'm really enjoying them. So, I think, in my opinion, I've picked a very good season to do this. So, just hope the season goes pretty interestingly to keep these streams interesting, because as we know, Australia was a bit boring because the race was a bit of a nightmare in a lot of aspects. So hopefully today we've got a bit of an interesting race that doesn't immediately get muted by yellow or red flags or safety cars. Okay, we're not too far out from the race now. But I think the summer break is going to be after this. I think after this round of 5 races. If not, there'll be a couple more. But I don't think we're too far away from the summer break now. So I think we'll get about 5 or 6 more races before the summer break. And as we know, 5 races in 6 weeks now. So we're not too far away from it. So I think by the summer break, we'll have a little bit of a clearer idea of who's going to win the championship. Well, at very least, the Constructors' Championship. The drivers will probably be up in the air for a good while yet. But the Constructors, will probably seem a bit clearer coming to the summer break, if not just after. But we'll just have to wait and see how that all goes. But for now, we have Azerbaijan to worry about. And we're only a couple minutes away. And here's the F1 intro. So now we're truly on our way to the race start. And frankly, I can't wait. See, as I said, this race should be about an hour and a half, roughly. Provided nothing goes horridly wrong, which hopefully it won't. Hopefully everything goes as planned. And hopefully we see a lot of overtakes, because this track is semi-decent for overtaking in certain parts. So we'll have to wait and see who manages to make the big moves coming down, mainly down the home straight. Like, the pit straight is an amazing overtake opportunity with the DRS. It's really powerful down that straight. So hopefully we'll see some good moves coming into that. Now we have the track info. Okay. Oh yeah, and we got 3 more years of this race. Forgot about that. So the 2026 will be the last race of the current contract. Probably get extended again, but we'll see. Okay. Here we are in Azerbaijan. 6.003 kilometers, 51 laps, and 1 minute 43.009 by Charles Leclerc's the lap record. So I was close. I was very close. 20 turns, 351 kilometers per hour's top speed. So yeah, I was close to the race, to the lap distance. I was off by 0.001 kilometers. Not too bad. Okay. Yep, turn 3 is a pretty decent overtaking opportunity if you get it right, as has just rightly been said. Yeah, turn 8 is where you've got to be really careful not to crash, because that is the castle section, and that's where a lot of drivers tend to crash. And there are 20 turns on this race. So they're using the C3, C4, and C5 tyres, which are the softest of the Pirelli tyres. So that's the soft, medium, and hards. C5 soft, C3 hard, C4 medium. And now we have the grid. So, Esteban Ocon and Nico Hülkenberg are starting in the pit lane. Then Pierre Gasly in 17th and Nick de Vries in 18th. Next we have Kevin Magnussen in 16th and Zhou Guanyu in 15th. Okay. Then we have Logan Sargent in 14th and Valtteri Bottas in 13th. And then Alex Albon is in 12th and George Russell's in 11th. And then Oscar Piastri is in 10th and Lance Stroll is in 9th, which is quite far back for the Astons, really, this season. Yuki Tsunoda's in 8th and Lando Norris is up in 7th, so big gains from McLaren. Fernando Alonso is down in 6th alongside Lewis Hamilton in 5th. Then we have Carlos Sainz in 4th and Sergio Perez in 3rd. And then we have Max Verstappen in 2nd and Charles Leclerc in 1st on pole position. So I was a little bit off on my memory of the grid slots for today. Whoops. But that is looking to be a very interesting grid in my opinion. This grid could be quite chaotic. Now we've only got a minute or so until the race begins, which is all very exciting. We are not too far away from this at all. Okay, all the cars are still on their jacks, ready to be dropped onto the grid, ready to go for the formation lap. Which I can't imagine is too far away, because it is approaching 12 o'clock quite quickly. Well, local time, it's 3 o'clock in Azerbaijan. Local time for me, I should say. It's midday for me right now. Okay, Charles Leclerc seems to be very ready to go. Ooh, a lot of the grid are on mediums, except for the bottom three, who are all on hards. Okay, interesting. Okay, the tyre blankets have been removed, and it looks as if they're about to head off for the race, well, for the formation lap, and then, okay, off they go any second now, I'd say. Oh, okay, clock's ticking down to 3 o'clock. There we go. And off they go for the formation lap. Okay. Moments away from the race start now, guys. Which is quite terrifying, considering that turn 1 does cause some issues, but also quite exciting because the race is about to start. So yeah, we will be racing here until the 2026 season, and of course that includes the 2026 season, so we'll get at least 3 more races out of this track. Will we get more? More than likely. Okay, the strategies are mediums for 17 laps and hards for 34, or hards for 37 laps and mediums for 14. So those are the 2 possible race strategies for today. However, some teams may throw in a complete spanner into the works and throw in another strange little strategy. So we'll have to wait and see who does what for the race. And that is Ferrari showing the fastest pit stop of the season so far with 2.1 seconds flat, which is honestly pretty good. I can't lie, that's actually really impressive. Okay. The cars are coming through the formation lap. I believe they are now approaching the castle section of the track, I think. I'm not too familiar with this track layout. I remember the castle section is around halfway through, so they're not too far away from the castle section now, I would think. So any moment now, they'll be lining back up on the grid, ready to start the race, and then, of course, the 5 lights will come on, then go off, and then they will all go off into turn 1. No, they will go into turn 1. Hopefully none of them will go off into turn 1, because that would be bad. Yeah, that would not be good. So, no one go off, please, into turn 1. Please don't, because crashes are bad, and yeah, no. Yeah, I really can't wait for this, guys. Baku was always a pretty good race to watch, so, yeah, keep an eye out on this one. If you're out there, lucky you. I am very jealous. So yeah, a lot of the cars are now weaving around to get some temperature in their tyres. Usually that isn't allowed on a straight, however, the formation lap it is allowed, so that's what they're doing to warm up their tyres. and that is what most drivers do to get temperature into their tyres. Except for Kimi Raikkonen when he was racing, he just tended to continue going straight. So that's just kind of how Kimi Raikkonen did his thing. Oh, okay, Charles Leclerc is very close to the grid now, so he's making his way through the grid now up to the pole position grid slot, which shouldn't take him too long. And then the other cars will have to line up behind him. Of course, Hulkenberg and Ocon will be starting from the pits. And there's Esteban Ocon ready to go. Probably Nico Hulkenberg not too far away from him. Okay. Right. And there's Nico Hulkenberg lining up in the pit lane, ready to go as well. Okay. There's the medical car lining up behind them. The green flag's being waved. The lights are going on. And it's lights out. And off we go for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And that's Charles Leclerc blitzing into turn 1 in pole position. So that's great for him. And everyone's made it through turn 1 successfully. That is a very strong start. Okay, turn 2. Oh, a little bit of a collision there in turn 2. Don't know who that was, but there was a bit of a nudge. It was Oscar Piastri, it seems. Okay. Okay. So Charles Leclerc has completely dominated the start of this race. Like, that was an amazing getaway from the Monegasque man. That was just brilliant. Okay, here comes the castle section. Ooh. Okay, they're all doing... Oh, and there's a yellow flag in Sector 1. Okay. That's a double yellow flag in Sector 1. Okay. Okay. It looks like it's just debris from that nudge I saw coming into turn 2. I think, again, it was Oscar Piastri involved. But we'll have to wait and see. Well, the green flag's been waved, so it's all good, it seems. Okay. And there's Max Verstappen chasing down Charles Leclerc. Like, no pun intended, he is very much seeing red. Actually, no, that pun was very intended. But yeah, he is proper chasing down Leclerc coming into turn 1 again. Now we're on to lap 2. Ooh. And at the end of this lap, DRS will be activated. So Charles Leclerc is going to need to make up some distance from Max Verstappen to make sure that Max doesn't get DRS. Because, of course, DRS is only enabled for a certain driver when you're within 1 second of the car in front. So, at the moment, Leclerc's... Probably the only thought on Leclerc's mind is to pull out over a second over Max Verstappen. That's probably the only thing on his mind right now. And, of course, trying not to crash. Those are the 2 things on his mind right now. Keep it on the road and clear 1 second ahead of Verstappen. And if Verstappen does get DRS, defend like hell. But we'll have to wait and see. Max Verstappen is incredible under DRS conditions, so Leclerc may lose the lead if he can't pull out that second, but we'll have to wait and see. We will just simply have to wait and see how it goes. Okay. And there is the rear view of Charles Leclerc. Max very close to his rear end. Like, Max Verstappen is not letting him pull out this 1 second gap that he so sorely needs to keep the lead of this race. So, we'll wait and see how it goes coming into the main straight. Of course, they won't have main straight DRS on this lap, because, of course, they'll hit the main straight before the end of this lap. And speaking of which, I think we're approaching that right now. Yep. Okay. And there's lap 3, so DRS should be enabled right now. Yep, there it is. Okay. And the gap is 0.5 seconds from Max Verstappen to Charles Leclerc. So, right now, he is well within DRS range of Max Verstappen. And Max does have it open. And Max is having a little look to see if he can make the move. Decides not to just yet, which is potentially a wise decision, considering that's where the contact with George Russell happened yesterday. And now we're just going to have a quick look at the race start once again. And frankly, that was a textbook getaway from Charles Leclerc. Like, wow, that was incredible. That was a really good getaway from the man from Monaco. That was really good. Okay. Okay. Now we've got an onboard of Kevin Magnussen at the race start. Not quite sure why, but I think we'll find out. Ah, yeah, there was a bit of a collision. And it was Valtteri Bottas's debris. So it wasn't Oscar Piastri. It was actually Valtteri Bottas. Oh, it does seem that Piastri was a bit clipped, though, by Alex Albon. So I was half right, half wrong. And Leclerc has the fastest lap of the race. 1 minute 47.656, so that's not too bad, to be honest. Okay, now we're on the main straight, which means Max Verstappen will almost definitely have DRS. And here he comes, and there he goes. And that is the reigning world champion, Max Verstappen, up into first place once again. Is Charles Leclerc going to try and take it back? Oh, and that is fastest lap now for Sir Lewis Hamilton, which is, wow, that's interesting to see. But yeah, now we have Max Verstappen up into first, but Charles Leclerc is very much chasing him down. He isn't letting him take it without a fight, so this could be a ding-dong battle for quite a while. Okay, now we're on to lap 4 of the race, so far this race is going by pretty quickly. Okay. Right, now we have the Aston Martins both together in 6th and 7th, so that is Fernando Alonso in 6th and Lance Stroll down in 7th, so that is good for those two. Lewis Hamilton just under a second ahead of both of them, in 5th place. Then Carlos Sainz is in 4th, Sergio Perez is in 3rd, Charles Leclerc is in 2nd, and Max Verstappen is in 1st. Okay. Right. And now I believe they're coming up to the main straight again, ready to head into lap 5 of the race. So here we go on to lap 5, any second now, which means we are basically 1/10 through this race. Oh, and Sergio Perez had a little look to see if he could overtake Charles Leclerc too. He didn't quite do it there, and that's Max Verstappen with the fastest lap on a 1 minute 47.108. So that's a pretty fast lap from the reigning world champion there. Oh. Okay. Wow, this is actually going quite well. And Lewis Hamilton is doing a pretty good job of keeping up with Carlos Sainz in the Ferrari. Only 0.6 seconds behind him, so he is doing pretty well to keep up with the Ferrari there. Okay. Now we're on lap 5, so this race is going pretty quickly so far. So we could have a pretty easy, well, a pretty swimmingly done race here. This could go quite well, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Okay, that looks to be the Red Bull again of Sergio Perez, chasing down Charles Leclerc like an absolute animal. Is he going to try it on the main straight? Possibly. I think he is going to try and overtake the Ferrari coming into the main straight in turn 20. So, let's see how this goes. Okay, there's DRS for Sergio Perez, and he is closing up to the Ferrari quite quickly, and there's Sergio Perez. Oh, just about into 2nd place, although that was cut very close there. Charles Leclerc was not letting him take it as easy as Max Verstappen into P1. That was, oof. Oh, but Charles Leclerc has DRS now on Sergio Perez, so he may try to overtake Sergio Perez back for 2nd. Oof, that was chaos. No, that wasn't chaos, that was just very close. Yeah, that was a really close overtake there from Perez. Woof! Ooh, that was close. It looks as if he closed the DRS a bit too soon. Like, he hadn't quite got the overtake done and he closed it, so that was pretty risky there. Wow. Okay. Right, now we're on to lap 6 of the race. Okay. Oops, Lance Stroll radio. Okay. Right. Stroll has just announced that he is not going to try and overtake his teammate, Fernando Alonso. He said he is happy to maintain position for now. Okay. Yeah. Right, so he said he is not going to try and attack Fernando Alonso. So that's good news for Fernando, at least. Like, that is great news for him. So all he has to do is focus on trying to overtake Lewis Hamilton. Okay. And Alonso is getting the message about Stroll not wanting to overtake him, and Alonso just said, I mean, he can try it if he wants to, so Alonso said, if he wants to give it a go for it. Fair enough. Okay, and it seems Lance has got that message, because he has just opened DRS on his teammates. So, he may have got that message from Fernando. Oh, and there's an Alfa Romeo in the pits. And it's Valtteri Bottas, unsurprisingly, with his damage. Okay. And now we're on to lap 7 already. Good God. Okay. Right. Okay, so that's put Valtteri Bottas onto... Is he on mediums again? I'm trying to find him on the grid. Oh. No, he is on the hard tyres now as well. Okay. And he is now in dead last, unfortunately for him. Okay, there's Charles Leclerc in third, chasing down Sergio Perez again. Like an absolute animal. He is not letting Perez off easy here. And actually, Sergio Perez is currently on the fastest lap of the race. Okay. And here we come down to the main straight for the beginning of lap 8. Oh, and there's Perez again on the fastest lap. It was Max Verstappen for a split second, and then it very quickly switched to Sergio Perez with a 146.885. So that is... The laps are going to start decreasing in time now, so this race will really start to speed up. And that is Alex Albon into the pits as well for a tyre change. Okay. And then here comes Alex Albon into the pits for his pit stop. Okay. And it's a 3-second flat. Okay. And that is Alex Albon on the hard tyres as well. So the hard tyre runners are increasing. There are more and more people switching to the white striped tyres. For those of you who don't know, the red tyres are the soft tyres, the mediums are yellow, and the hard tyres are the white tyres, the white stripes. So, yeah, just in case anyone was confused, the mediums are the yellows, the hards are the white ones, and the red ones are the softs. Just thought I'd let you all know, because I know it isn't always perfectly clear, so there you go. Just a bit of information for you all who didn't quite know. Okay. And I can't imagine we're now too far away from lap 9 of the race. Okay. There's the back of the pack. Oh, and there's Max Verstappen on the fastest lap, starting lap 9, just as I predicted. Okay, and he is now just clear from Sergio Perez, and Max Verstappen's fastest lap time is a 1 minute 46.801, so even quicker than Sergio Perez's fastest lap. Oh, and there's Oscar Piastri and Yuki Tsunoda into the pits too. And Logan Sargent. So that's 3 drivers in the pits right now. Okay. And here comes Fernando Alonso, very close up to Lewis Hamilton. So there may be an overtake attempt here pretty soon. Okay. Right. Okay, is Fernando Alonso going to try something on Lewis Hamilton? Not yet. Oh, there is a Mercedes pit crew waiting outside the Mercedes garage for Lewis Hamilton to come in case his tyres do go off after the graining phase, which is currently happening. And it's a bit of a 50-50 on whether they'll survive the graining phase or they will just completely fall off and he'll have to come into the pits. So let's wait and see how Lewis Hamilton does. Of course, we know he is incredible at tyre management most of the time. Like, he knows how to work a set of tyres. So have to wait and see how this goes. But you never know. He may need to come in. So we'll just wait and see, I guess. Oh, and Lewis has just been told to pit. So off he goes, and that puts Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll into 5th and 6th. Okay, and that knocks Lewis down to... I don't quite know where yet. Oh, and here comes Lando Norris into the pits as well. Okay, that was incredibly quick from Mercedes with a 2.6 seconds. And Lando Norris's pit stop is going to be a 2.3, so Lando Norris's was ever so slightly quicker than Lewis Hamilton's. Okay, and it would appear that Lewis Hamilton's on the hard tyres, and I can only imagine that Lando Norris is too, yep. So it's only the top 9 now on the medium tyres. The bottom 11 are on mediums and on hards. And that is a yellow flag in Sector 1. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's green flag again. Whew. But yeah, Sergio Perez is getting really close to Max Verstappen there. Only 0.7 seconds behind him. Okay, Verstappen radio. Oh, now there's a yellow flag in Sector 1 and 2. And Max is now struggling with his rear tyres. He's sliding, apparently. Whoa, yeah, whoa, that was a slide and a half from Verstappen. And that is an Alpha Tauri stranded, and it is Nick De Vries. Oh, dear. Okay. And Max Verstappen has just been told to pit because Nick De Vries is seemingly out of the race. And Perez is now in the lead. And in this track, that bodes quite well for him because he has won here before, if I remember correctly. And this is now a safety car. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, what happened with Nick De Vries, I want to know. Okay. Okay, safety car time. This is going to completely neutralise the race now for the next couple of laps. Okay, that was an interesting one. Can't lie. That was quite surprising, to be honest. I can't see any damage to Nick De Vries. Maybe he just stopped? His car might have just died. Okay, the brakes seem to be smoking a bit. That's, Hopefully we get a replay of what happened in a moment to Nick De Vries. Okay, Perez has been told to pit, so that will put Leclerc and Sainz into 1-2, which I'm sure Ferrari will not complain about at all. Oh, never mind. Carlos Sainz has been told to pit as well, so that'll put Leclerc and Alonso into 1-2. Okay. Right. And Alonso's been told to pit as well, so God knows who the top 2 are going to be by the end of this. Yeah, okay. This is about to become very messy. Yikes. Okay. Right. Let's see how this little round of pit stops goes, because of course, safety car, you basically get a free pit stop. Because you only lose 11 seconds in the pit lane. Oh, and Charles Leclerc's been told to pit as well, so most of the grid's going to be pitting at the end of this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and most of the grid now, if not the rest of the grid, are going to be on the hard tyres. I can't say I'm surprised. Everyone else was very quickly changing onto them, so I'll have to wait and see. Okay, there's a lot of pit stops happening right now, so I'm not even going to try and keep track of who's getting what pit time. It's insane. Okay. So, yeah, this is what happens when a safety car occurs. Everyone gets a pit stop. So, you get a pit stop, you get a pit stop, you get a pit stop. And then everyone takes them, because free pit stop for the win. I mean, potentially, yeah. That pit stop could ultimately somehow win you the race. Okay, and that is now the entire grid on the hard tyres. Can't say I'm surprised. Except, of course, for Nick De Vries, who is seemingly out of the race. But I want to know how. What happened? Like, did his car just give up on him? Like, that is really strange. And actually, we are seeing Nick De Vries' car now. So, yeah, I don't know what happened there. I'm really hoping we get a replay soon, because that is interesting. Like, I've never seen a car stop by there, just straight up stopping, so I'm gonna guess his engine just cut out and he had to stop right there. Okay. Yeah, that was, yeah, I really want to see a replay of that, and honestly, as soon as possible. Okay. Right, that was pretty unexpected. Okay, and this is said replay. Right, what happens to Nick De Vries here? Ah, he clipped the inside wall and he broke his suspension. Right, okay. That, I see it now. It's wonky, yep. Okay, so that's Nick De Vries out of the race with a very broken suspension arm on his front left. So, have to wait and see. Okay. Whew. There was a very strange battle there between George Russell and Lance Stroll in the pits. Very strange. And there was a very close release for Sergio Perez there from his pit stop, almost hitting into Charles Leclerc. Whoa, that was close. Well, that was just chaos. With any luck, this safety car should be over soon, because hopefully they can recover that stranded AlphaTauri in the next lap or so, and then we can get back to the race. Okay. Right. Okay. Sorry, guys. Didn't get much sleep last night, so a little bit tired, but not too bad. Also, I'll be on the AstCast tonight at 6 p.m. UK time, so at 6 p.m. UK time, so you'll have to convert that from your time zone, obviously. But yeah, 6 p.m. UK time, I will be live on stereo for this week's AstCast, and then I'll be done for the day. Okay, and the safety car is now ending. So at the end of this lap, the safety car will peel back into the pits, and then Sergio Perez can lead everyone away, because Sergio Perez is now back up into first. And that leaves us with 38 laps of racing. No, 37, sorry. No, 38, yeah, I was right the first time. 38 laps of racing, so we'll be on to lap 14 of 51. Of course, lap 51 is the last lap, so that'll give us 38 laps of racing. Okay. Right. Okay. Here we go. Green flag, so they're all clear to go racing once again. Okay. That's Charles Leclerc very close to Sergio Perez there. So this could be quite close here. Oh. And there goes Sergio Perez going off into the distance, but Charles Leclerc is right behind him. Okay, whoa. Okay. Right. That was interesting. Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen got very close to overtaking each other. Oh, and here comes Max Verstappen to try and overtake Charles Leclerc. Is he going to get the job done? Potentially, yes he is. So that's a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment, with Perez in front and Verstappen in second. Oh, and there goes Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz into fourth. Okay. So as it stands, the top five are Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, and Carlos Sainz. Woof! That was crazy. Wow. Okay. Okay. Right, okay. Right, so as it stands, we have Sergio Perez, Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc, Fernando Alonso, Carlos Sainz, Lance Stroll, George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Esteban Ocon, Nico Hulkenberg, Lando Norris, Yuki Tsunoda, Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, Logan Sargent, and Valtteri Bottas. That is the grid as it stands. And of course, Nick De Vries is out of the race due to breaking his front left suspension. Whoops. Okay. That's interesting. That's okay. Now the fastest lap there for Sergio Perez with a 1:45.798. Yep. And the Mercedes have swapped places, so it's now Lewis Hamilton in front of George Russell now. Okay. Right. And that now puts Lewis Hamilton behind his first teammate's current teammate, Lance Stroll. Will he try and overtake the Canadian? Very possibly. Have to wait and see. He's not within DRS range of him yet, but he... Oh no, he is now. Okay. Right. So this is the replay of Max Verstappen overtaking Charles Leclerc. Yeah. Okay. Right. And here's Fernando Alonso's overtake on Carlos Sainz. That was just very clean, really. Both overtakes, Max Verstappen's and Fernando Alonso's, those were both incredibly clean overtakes. This is Lewis Hamilton on George Russell. Ooh, of another very clean overtake. And George Russell's not too happy with his performance on the restart. It happens, I suppose. Okay. Right. And there is now a potential unsafe release penalty coming for Sergio Perez. Oops, sorry guys, I've just noticed I've knocked the camera wonky. 1 second. Up we go. Ah. There we are, we're back. Sorry about that, people, I didn't even realise that had happened. Whoops. Okay. Right, okay, Right, let's see how how the rest of this race unfolds. We have about 35 laps, no, 35 laps left of racing. So, we're not too far from crunch time, surprisingly. Okay, no further investigation for Sergio Perez's unsafe release. That was quite surprising, because that was quite a close call between him and Charles Leclerc. That was quite close. So that, no further investigation, is quite a surprise, to me at least. I was expecting something for that, but hey, the FIA stewards decided their thing. I can't question that. Okay. Yeah, and DRS is enabled once again, as it's been 3 laps since the restart. So here comes the chaos once again. Max Verstappen is nowhere near DRS range for Sergio Perez. He is 1.5 seconds behind him, so Verstappen needs to claw back half a second to just get into the DRS range of his teammates. Oh, that's a surprise. Okay. And here's a replay of Lance Stroll clipping the wall. Oh, God. Okay. He's just radioed Aston Martin, asking them to check the tyre. Oh, dear. Oh, God. Okay, and it's the same corner that Nick de Vries broke his suspension on, so naturally Lance Stroll's going to be quite concerned right now. And there is a pit entry incident being investigated for George Russell, probably his side-by-side with Lance Stroll coming into the entrance of the pit lane. Okay, that was a very quick yellow flag for Sector 1, but that has since disappeared. That was strange. Okay. Okay. Right. Now we're on lap 17, so now that the safety car's over, this race is once again going by quite quickly. Okay, and there's no further investigation for George Russell either, so... Okay. So, no further investigation for the Sergio Perez unsafe release, or, the interesting incident between George Russell and Lance Stroll. And speaking of Lance Stroll, according to Aston Martin, his car is absolutely fine. So, no need for him to worry right now. That is good for him, at least. Okay, now we're on board with Lewis Hamilton, or we were for a split second. Speaking of which, behind Lance Stroll, and probably looking to perform an overtake at some point soon. He is within DRS range of him, so he may try and overtake him. He might not, we'll have to wait and see. He's got the DRS open at least, so he's going to try and probably close up to him. Okay. Right. And now we have a replay from Kevin Magnussen. I'm not sure... Oh, that was a very clean overtake on an Alfa Romeo there. I'm not quite sure which one. Oh, and he actually got re-overtaken by the Alfa Romeo, because he did lose grip a little bit. And actually did a bit of a drift, which, in an F1 car isn't the best thing to do, but it looks damn cool. I've got to be honest, it does look really cool when it happens. Even though it isn't the best thing, it's really cool. And it was actually Zhou Guan Yu he was attempting to overtake. Okay. Right. And it looks as if it is going to be a pretty straight fight between Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez for the win, because Leclerc is dropping back quite significantly. In fact, he is 5 seconds behind both of them now, so, excuse me, unless something drastic changes, it's probably going to be a Red Bull versus Red Bull fight for the win. Oh, we got a message from... Okay. Oh, okay. Um, Now Fernando Alonso is sending over brake balance suggestions to Lance Stroll. Okay, I mean, this is quite uncharacteristic from Fernando Alonso. He usually tends to keep that sort of thing to himself, but Lance Stroll is clearly a man he wants to help. So, yeah, he sends over a brake balance suggestion to Lance Stroll. Let's see if he takes it. That was quite a surprise. Okay, it seems that no team orders are in effect at Red Bull, so at the moment it's just go racing and see who wins. Will that change towards the end of the race? Possibly. Have to wait and see. But that was actually quite surprising from Fernando Alonso because, well, if you guys know, Fernando Alonso is usually quite an aggressive and competitive driver. He tends to keep all those tips and tricks to himself. But not anymore, it seems. And that was very close from Esteban Ocon there, hitting the wall like his teammate did yesterday. So he got very close to that, but thankfully avoided it. Which I'm sure Otmar Zafnauer will be very happy with, that he managed to avoid it. Of course, Otmar Zafnauer being the Alpine team principal. Okay. And there's Sergio Perez on the fastest lap. Oh no, sorry, Max Verstappen's on the fastest lap. Oh. And that was a bit of an off from Lance Stroll, but he managed to get it back, so that wasn't good for him. But now Lewis Hamilton is right up Lance Stroll's rear end, so he is going to try and overtake. Is he going to get it? Possibly. Yes, that is Lewis Hamilton now in front of Lance Stroll. Woof. Okay. That was quite a long drawn out one as well, like Perez on Leclerc earlier. That took quite a while to actually get in front of Lance Stroll there. Okay. Right. So that is Lance Stroll now in a Mercedes sandwich. Oh. Okay. Where's Fernando? Okay, so Fernando Alonso is up in fourth. What I want to know right now is, has Lance Stroll taken Fernando Alonso's brake balance tips that he gave him? Whatever that may be. Of course, we don't actually know what the suggestion was, as that particular team radio won't have been broadcast on television. So we'll have to wait and see how that has gone, if he has indeed taken the advice of his much more experienced teammates. Because, let's face it, Fernando Alonso has been racing since before I was born in Formula One, so he knows his way around an F1 car. And several generations of F1 cars as well. Okay. Right. I was going to say, yeah, it's being pointed out right now that Leclerc versus Alonso is going to be very interesting. Because it is going to kick off probably pretty soon. Like, Alonso's only a couple of seconds behind Leclerc, so pretty soon he is going to be trying to overtake him. Oh, and here comes George Russell, seemingly trying to overtake Lance Stroll, but not quite being close enough. Okay. Right. So this could be quite an interesting battle to watch as well. Russell versus Stroll. Okay. Right. Stroll he isn't quite close enough to Stroll just yet, but again, I wouldn't give it long. Okay. He's only 4/10 behind Lance Stroll, so very soon he could try to overtake him. Oh, got a replay from Sergio Perez here. I'm not quite sure what for. Ooh, once again, getting very close to that wall that did claim Pierre Gasly's rear wing yesterday. So, that was close. Okay. we now have 30 laps left of the race. We're on lap 21 of 51. Okay. And Charles Leclerc is really dropping back now from the two Red Bulls. That's 8.6 seconds. Like, that is quite a drop there from the Ferrari. So, unless something drastic happens, it does look as if it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2 now. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Okay. Right. Oh, Carlos Sainz radio. Okay. Carlos Sainz has just been told that Ferrari's happy with his tyre degradation and to kind of go nuts for a bit. Just go on the attack. So, yeah, that's Carlos Sainz unleashed. Like, when Carlos hears those words, he understands the assignment and gets the job done. So Alonso may have to start pushing himself now. So that's going to be interesting to watch. Fernando Alonso versus Carlos Sainz, of course, both from Spain. So that's always, well, historically these two have had some good battles. So this could be quite interesting. It's also a bit of nose breaks. I'm getting a little bit blocked up. Can't quite tell if you could hear it, but last few laps, I have been blocking up a little bit, so that should clear me up any moment now. Right, and now we're at 1.2 second gap between Perez and Verstappen, with Verstappen still on the fastest lap. In spite of that, he is still out of DRS range of his teammates. Okay. This is quite surprising, because, like, even in Australia, Max Verstappen was really struggling to catch Sergio Perez. Wait, earlier on, did I mention that... Oh, wait, no, I think I was incorrect earlier when I said Max Verstappen's won all the races so far. He is not, so... Okay, my bad. It's been a while, guys. Also, George Russell is now complaining about degradation on the hard tyres, which honestly isn't too surprising. These tyres have been running for a good while now, so I'm not too surprised right now. But hopefully they hold on a bit longer for George Russell. Oh, and there's now a bit of a battle going on between Nico Hülkenberg and Esteban Ocon, of course, who are both of our pit lane starters in the race. Okay. Right. Okay. Now we're on to lap 23. And Nico Hülkenberg still hasn't pitted once in this race. And the only other man who hasn't is Esteban Ocon. Okay. George Russell saying that Mercedes should consider plan B, so it looks as if he is going to be coming in for a pit stop probably pretty soon. Okay. Right. And now we're approaching the halfway point. The halfway point will inconveniently be halfway around lap 25. So, yeah. Bit inconvenient on the timing of that, but oh well. It happens. So when Perez hits turn 10 of lap 25, we'll officially be halfway through the race. Right. And speaking of which, we should be on lap 25 pretty soon. I would imagine in the next couple of moments, actually, we should be experiencing the lap count change once again. And it's now a 10-second gap from Charles Leclerc to Max Verstappen. Oof. Okay, and there's Lewis Hamilton chasing down Carlos Sainz in 5th. Right. Okay, I can't lie. This race has been pretty good. This race has actually been really fun so far, to be honest. I've actually really enjoyed this one. Okay. So any moment now, we should see Sergio Perez coming in across the start line for the 25th lap. Yep, there it is. Okay. And Max Verstappen still has the fastest lap, despite still being behind his teammate in first place. So, Sergio Perez must just be putting his car in just the right places as soon, like, at every opportunity. So there is a 1.4 second gap still between Perez and Verstappen. Okay. Right. Okay, not too much is happening at the moment. Again, we're entering the middle stage of the race, so things will start to kind of slow down for a while now, as they'll be all saving their tyres, ready for one gigantic push at the end. So, for the next 10 or so laps, things will probably slow down quite a bit, and then you can expect in the last 10 to 15 laps, things will start to really heat up again very quickly. And then the drivers will start to push like hell for overtakes for the end of the race. So the next 10 or so laps are probably going to be pretty slow in terms of action. Not too much is going to happen, I think. And there's the two Red Bulls coming across for lap 26. And quite a way back is Charles Leclerc doing the same. And he's now 11 seconds away from the Red Bulls. So the Red Bulls, once again, are absolutely dominating this track. But overall, Sergio Perez is the one really commanding this race so far. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, things are going to slow down for a while now, guys. Like, the next 10 or so laps will be quite, low on action. There may be one or two overtakes here and there, but for the most part, not much is going to be happening. Except for... Did I just see one happen? I don't know. I might have. No, I didn't. But yeah, it'll be quite slow for a while. But then, come lap 35 or so, overtakes will start to happen again, as it'll be the last 15 or so laps of the race, ready to finish it off, because once the end of the race comes, they'll be pushing like mad to get the best positions they can, but at the moment, they'll all be saving their tyres for that last big push. Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, Verstappen has been good at keeping up with Perez to the extent that he has, but he hasn't been able to get in DRS range, which is quite uncharacteristic for Max Verstappen. That's quite unusual for him. He's been consistently between 1.1 and 1.5 seconds behind him, so of course that isn't DRS range. Of course, DRS range is, as I said, 1 second and under, which Verstappen just hasn't quite been able to crack. So, have to wait and see how that goes. Okay. Right. And there's lap 27 starting. Okay, now we have a replay from Nico Hülkenberg. What for? I'm not fully sure, but we'll find out. Ooh. Right. He touched the wall with his front right tyre, so turn 15. So, okay, he was just a bit worried, but it seems that his tyre pressures are absolutely fine. So, hopefully, nothing to worry about for Nico Hülkenberg. Hopefully. Right. Okay. Yeah, nothing too much is happening right now, as I've said. So, at the moment, it does look as if it's going to be a Red Bull 1-2, with Perez winning and Max Verstappen in second, and Charles Leclerc in third, which makes this the first time Fernando Alonso won't be on the podium this season. Yeah. Unless he does manage to overtake Charles Leclerc, or something happens to Charles Leclerc. God forbid that second part happens, but it is possible that Fernando could try and overtake on the Monegasque man. But at the moment, this will be the first time this season that Fernando Alonso won't be on the podium. Okay. Right. Okay, lap 28. Oh, Carlos Sainz radio. Okay. Just checking if he was preferring Plan A or Plan C. Carlos said he is more than happy with Plan A at the moment, so that'll be his standard pit plan, whatever that may be. So, okay. Yeah, right. And if Fernando Alonso gets third today, he will then equal the most consistent number of most consistent finishes in a place that isn't first. So this will be his fourth third place in a row if he gets it, and that will equal the record of most finishes in a row in a certain place that isn't first, which is an amazingly fun and silly record, but it exists. I believe the current holder is Yuki Tsunoda, if I remember correctly. And Fernando Alonso could equal that today, so let's wait and see. Of course, I'm sure Fernando Alonso would absolutely not mind another podium, because, fourth in a row, fourth this year. Yeah, I'm sure he would absolutely love that. Okay. Now we're on to lap 29, so once again, in the next few laps, we are going to see things begin to heat up again. Things are going to start going wild again over the next few laps. But after I'd say lap 35, things are going to start to get really intense again. Okay. Right. Oh, and Max Verstappen's actually slipped back a bit. It's 2.2 seconds. So, yeah, Max Verstappen's falling back a bit now. Maybe his tyres are going off, so he might need to come in for a pit stop. Oh. He's struggling with his braking. Okay. Right. Okay. 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 So this is quite an uncharacteristic appearance from Max Verstappen here. He's actually slipping back from Sergio Perez. Okay. Right. He's having a bit of a problem with the differential and engine braking balance. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. Has Max clipped the wall there? No, he's just missed it. Whoa, that was close. Whew. Right. Oh, that was a very close call there with Max hitting the wall. Wow, okay. Right. Okay. Okay, and Charles Leclerc is now 13 seconds behind the Red Bulls. Yikes, that is, ooh, that is quite a gap there. Okay, and Perez now has the fastest lap again with a 1:45.934. So that is a very quick lap there from Sergio Perez. Of course, as I said, the laps are going to start getting quicker and quicker now because the race time is obviously running out. They're running out of laps to do quick laps in, so they're going to start to get quicker and quicker as time goes on. Right, now we're on lap 31, so we've now got 20 laps to go. Which shouldn't take too long, really. Okay. Okay. Right, and here's Fernando Alonso coming up the back of Charles Leclerc. He may actually attempt an overtake soon because he is very close to DRS range on the Ferrari. So there's potential for Fernando Alonso to continue his podium streak if he gets close enough to the Ferrari here, which is possible. We have a lot of tight and twisty corners coming up now, so Fernando is going to lose a bit of ground to the Ferrari here, but he is going to probably make some of it up on the main straight as he is coming onto it right now. Okay. And that's Max Verstappen on the fastest lap again with a 1:45.348. And here comes Fernando Alonso, very close to Charles Leclerc, but not close enough. Okay. And here we have a picture of a little bit of a camera shot of Laurent Marquis, who of course is going to AlphaTauri next season as team principal. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah, I think for now, this Alonso Leclerc battle is going to be interesting to watch. Okay. Ferrari confirming to Charles Leclerc that basically the hard tyres are running exactly as they'd hoped they would, so whatever that means. Have to wait and see, I suppose, but it seems that right now Ferrari seem comfortable. Now we're on to lap. Oh, goodness, I've knocked the camera again. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think I'll just stay here. Yeah, I'll just stay here for now. But yeah, we have quite an interesting end of this race coming up, it seems. Like, a lot of interesting things could happen over these last 19 laps. I'm looking forward to this, I can't lie. Like, this race has been incredible so far. Oh, and we have another fastest lap from Sergio Perez with a 1:45 point. I think that said 3:11. Oh, Max Verstappen replay. What's happened here then? Ooh. Once again, got phenomenally close to hitting the wall in turn 15. Ooh. Ooh. Touched it ever so slightly. Right. Tapped it. Just a tiny bit, so should be okay with that, probably. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay, so we're on to lap 33 now. Now, like I said, in the next lap or two, things are going to start going a bit mental again. So, prepare for a pretty mad couple of last 15 laps. And there goes Pierre Gasly on Valtteri Bottas. But yeah, expect a crazy last 15 laps coming up very soon. Okay. Okay, so that was a really clean overtake there from Pierre Gasly, I can't lie. Okay. Lap 34 now. So we're not too far away from the end of the race now. The next, probably the next 20, 25 minutes or so, in theory. Which honestly is what I was roughly expecting. You know, that safety car did throw it off a little bit with it obviously neutralizing the race and slowing everybody down quite a lot. But other than that little safety car in the middle, well, actually towards the start, this race has kind of run as expected so far. Okay. Right. Okay. Oh, here's a replay from Sergio Perez. Not quite sure what for. Okay. Right. Okay. So he's clipped the wall on the entry to turn 15. Okay, that he does not want to do that too often. Ooh. Oh, and there's Max Verstappen again on the fastest lap with a 1 minute 45.218. So the lap times are really coming down now. Right. Okay. Lap 35, so this is where things get interesting again. Now we're going to start to see things go a little bit wild again, and probably a lot more overtakes begin to happen over the next 10 or so laps. Coming into the final 6, things are going to go insane. Like, it's going to be really hard to keep track of. I can feel it in my bones. Oh. Okay. Carlos Sainz's team are happy to go to the end on his tyres, so that's Ferrari happy with Carlos Sainz at least. But yeah, this is the next 10 laps going to be a bit wild, and then the final 6 are going to be completely insane. Probably be a gajillion overtake attempts happening all at once, so yeah, the last few laps are going to be very hard to keep track of. And oh, we have an Alfa Romeo in the pits, and it's Valtteri Bottas. Okay. This is his 3rd pit stop of the race, which is quite unusual for Azerbaijan, to be honest. Like, it's usually a 1 or 2 stop race. generally a two-stop, so that's quite unusual, really. Okay, 36 now. Right. Okay. 2.5 second gap now between the two Red Bulls here. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay, I'm just hearing some talk about the whole De Vries DNF and then the Max Verstappen pit stop, which Red Bull have put down to poor timing, which okay, fair enough. And it doesn't seem that Fernando Alonso is going to get his 4th podium unless he can make up 3 seconds on Charles Leclerc quite quickly. It's not impossible, but at the moment it doesn't look as if he's going to get that 4th podium, which is a bit of a shame for Fernando Alonso, because of course it's been a long time since he's been on the podium consistently. Like, it's been a very long time. So it was good to see him back on there, but it looks as if today isn't going to be one of those days, which, okay, we're on lap 37 and 15 laps to go. So now things are going to go mad from here on out for the next few laps, and then all chaos, all hell will break loose in the last 6 laps. Trust me here. It will go mad. Okay. And Lewis Hamilton is trying to close up onto Carlos Sainz. Although I think he is going to run out of straight before he gets a chance to overtake him. However, he did get pretty close. So he might try and overtake the Ferrari here. Yeah, Carlos, Lewis is really closing up to Max, to Carlos right now. Oh, names, yeah. Lewis is closing up to Carlos quite quickly now, so he may try to overtake him very soon. Oh, radio from Zhou Guanyu. Oh, okay. It looks as if Zhou Guanyu is about to retire from the race due to some issue. I'm not sure what. Yep, okay. And that is Zhou Guanyu out of this race with only 15 laps to go. Ouch. That is very painful for him. And now we're on to lap 38. So, okay. He hit the wall in turn 5. Okay. That's what happened to Zhou Guanyu then. Okay, lap 38. Here we go. The last 13 laps. This is where the fun begins. Well, at least this race has been a lot smoother than Australia was, because Australia was just way too chaotic for anyone's good. But as usual, I will stay on until the podium, and then I will sign off this stream. So, yeah, I'll be on for another, I reckon, 20 minutes or so from now. So yeah, roughly the next 20 minutes, and I'll probably sign off until tonight for the AstCast again. Please join me and Roxanne on stereo for that. But yeah, as of right now, I'll probably sign off once the podium ceremony's done. Then I'll go grab something to eat. But yeah, this race has been pretty interesting so far, I can't lie. There has been very few low points, and a Mercedes pit team is getting ready a fresh set of tyres for either George Russell or Lewis Hamilton. I don't quite know who. Okay. Okay, it looks as if Lewis Hamilton may come in for a set of soft tyres, potentially to do a fastest lap attempt? Or maybe try and get a few overtakes in? Okay. Right. Oh no, it seems that they're medium tyres that they are preparing for Lewis. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to wait and see on that one. Because we're on lap 39 right now. Right. Okay. It seems that, who is this? This is, an Alpine, so it is, oh yeah, Gasly on Sargent. He's going to try and overtake him. Is he going to succeed? We'll have to wait and see. Ooh, bit of bouncing there from Pierre Gasly. I don't think that was porpoising. I think that was just general bouncing from the speed. Okay. Ooh, he is. Ooh, not quite close enough to overtake the Williams. Not quite. Wasn't far off. Just wasn't quite close enough. Okay. Ooh, Max Verstappen's dropped back again with a 3.5 second gap to Sergio Perez. Okay. And, Perez is still on the fastest lap. Not sure what his lap time is now. Oh, and we are on lap 40, so it's the final 11 laps to go. That was amazing. A message from Fernando Alonso to Aston Martin. How many laps are left? 14. Good number. Let's go. Because, of course, 14 is Fernando's race number, so he was probably quite happy to hear that. So that might give him a bit of motivation to close up to Charles Leclerc, if not overtake him. We shall see. Of course, that message is a few laps old now. So we'll wait and see. Okay. And here comes Sargent and Gasly into turn 16 again. Okay. Right. And here's Lewis Hamilton again on Carlos Sainz. Once again, incredibly close between the two of them. So Lewis Hamilton may try and overtake attempt for 5th place. Very possibly. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. Okay. Yeah, Hamilton might overtake Carlos Sainz on the main straight here. He is very close to the Ferrari, so he may try and get the overtake done for 5th place. Right. Okay. Okay. And they're on the main straight, so we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Hamilton's really going for it, but still can't quite get the job done. This little battle could go on to the end of the race, potentially. Like, this is incredibly close between the two of them. My God. This battle's insane. This battle's closer than the one for the lead, which is just, frankly, bonkers to me. Okay. Right. Okay, we've now got 10 laps to go. We're on lap 41 of 51. So, very soon, we're going to see the overtakes really ramp up between some of the drivers. Ugh. Just a bit of readjustment, getting a little bit uncomfortable there. But I'm all good now. Oh, now it's 10 laps to go on lap 42. Whoops, my bad. Okay. And here comes Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton again into the final couple of turns. So, in a moment, we're going to see this battle resume again for 5th place. Will Lewis Hamilton get it this time? Possibly. He might. Okay, Lewis Hamilton's DRS is wide open. But he's still not quite close enough. Okay. This is a very hard battle for the 7-time world champion here. Like, Lewis Hamilton is struggling, unfortunately, on this one. Okay, he's got DRS open again. Is he going to try it this time? He having a little look, but doesn't quite go for it. Okay. Pierre Gasly is hunting down Logan Sargent again. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Oh, replay from Max Verstappen here. Ooh, once again getting phenomenally close to hitting several walls here. So Max is really testing the limits of this track right now. So he's obviously preparing for an overtake on Sergio Perez if there's enough laps for him to regain 3.2 seconds on his teammate. Okay, we're on lap 43 now. Okay. Oh. This is going to be a tense last few laps, I can tell. I can kind of just feel it. It's going to be a tense last few laps. I don't think that'll be a 2021 repeat when it was a final 2-lap shootout for the win. Because of course there was an incident with Max Verstappen on the 3rd to last lap, but I think it'll be a tense final few laps for the win. I think it is going to go Sergio Perez's way at the moment. Again, provided nothing unforeseen happens, this is going to be a win for Perez, but have to wait and see. Okay. And if this Red Bull 1-2 does indeed happen, it will be Red Bull's 25th 1-2 in their F1 history since 2005 when they joined the sport. Okay, got a replay from Nico Hülkenberg, and he got phenomenally close to hitting the wall there coming into turn 15. Whoa, oh, he did clip it slightly, so, oh yeah, he doesn't want to do that very often at all. Okay, oh, and Pierre Gasly has now gotten past Logan Sargent, which we know he has been trying to do for quite a few laps. Okay, now we're on to lap 44. Right. Oh, and Charles Leclerc's now done the fastest lap of the whole race. Wow, okay. Oh, Hamilton radio. He's just asking to see if Mercedes has any more power they can give him to probably overtake Carlos Sainz, because this is probably driving Lewis Hamilton insane now. Probably thinking, why can't I pass him? Why can't I pass him? Please, universe, let me pass him. So, yeah, Lewis is probably getting ready for a huge lunge on Carlos Sainz to try and overtake him. But his time hasn't come quite yet. Okay. Right. Okay. Now. Okay. Now we're on to lap 45, so this is where I think things are going to start getting a bit crazy. Like, this is where things are really going to go insane, and Nico Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon still haven't pitted, so in the next few laps, they will legally have to pit, because you have to at least do one pit stop in a race according to the rules, so in the next few laps, they will have to pit at some point. This reminds me of Alex Albon last year, and I think it was Monza or Imola, where he had to pit on the second to last lap because he legally had to, according to the rules, which is just absolutely brilliant. And it looks as if Nico Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon are gonna repeat the same thing. Like, I love it when drivers do that, because like, it shows how good they are at driver management. Like, it shows how good they are at tyre management, so props to Hulkenberg and Esteban Ocon here. Like, this is insane. Lando Norris tries to overtake one of the Hasses, and it is Nico Hulkenberg, actually. But he doesn't quite decide to go for it this time. Okay, so lap 45 now, as I said. Lap 46 is very quickly coming up, I'd imagine, probably in the next few moments. We'll see the lap count change for the final few laps. Okay. Right. Okay, now we're on to lap 46. Okay. Lewis Hamilton still can't quite catch up to that Ferrari, Carlos Sainz. And there's Lando Norris overtaking Nico Hulkenberg for 10th place. So that is the final points paying position. So Lando Norris is up into the points. Okay. That was surprising, to be honest. Like, as has just been rightly pointed out, Turn 7 doesn't generally produce many moves, so that was quite a surprise to see, to be honest, from Lando Norris. Okay, yeah, so this race is very nearly over now. So I want to know, what's everyone's favourite moments been of this race? Have any of the overtakes caught your attention? Has any of the surprise DNFs taken you by surprise? Because I know I was quite surprised by Nick de Vries's, because that was really unusual to see what happened to him. Of course, as I said, we're on lap 46 now, so there's only 6 laps to go. So we're almost at the end now. Okay. Mercedes do seem to be getting ready for a tyre change for George Russell, it looks like. Okay. And it's just been pointed out quite rightly. There could be a double points finish for McLaren, potentially. And Esteban Ocon has just said it has started to get darker now, so potentially keep an eye out for rain, because it isn't becoming nice in Azerbaijan right now, but it is possible that rain could show up in the last few laps, which would throw a spanner probably into a lot of these drivers. Like, this could throw a few off, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, 5 laps to go on lap 47. So I suppose now we've just got to wait for the finish and hope nothing else goes wrong before the end to really mess over anyone and drastically change the course of this race, because so far, everyone who's done well in this race deserves to be where they are. Like, this race has been absolutely brilliant. A massive improvement from Australia, so I'm really happy with how this particular race has gone. So, yeah, just the final 4 laps incoming. Nico Hulkenberg radio. Yep. They've just said to hang in there. So, have to wait and see if hanging in there works for Hulkenberg. Okay. Okay. Yuki Tsunoda's got the fastest third sector with a 24.955, so that's actually quite quick for sector 3 from Yuki Tsunoda there. Leclerc again has the fastest lap on lap 47, coming into 48, so that's amazing to see for him. Yeah, final 4 laps now. Right. Yeah, Hulkenberg and Ocon are going to need to come in for a pit stop soon, so they don't end up getting a penalty post-race. So they will have to take a pit stop at some point in the last couple of laps, but valiant effort from them both, managing to do near enough a full race on one set of tyres. That does not come easy at all. Okay. And there goes Oscar Piastri into 12th place, also overtaking Nico Hulkenberg. So there's now only 2 places standing between McLaren and a double points finish. Yeah, and Oscar Piastri has been unwell this weekend with some form of stomach bug, so this has been a really valiant effort from him as well on that front. 3 laps to go, and we now have the fastest lap for Verstappen with a 1 minute 44.566. So that's a pretty quick lap for Verstappen there. But Perez is still firmly in the lead with a 3-second gap to Verstappen. So at the moment, it is looking like it is going to be a win for Sergio Perez, which is always good to see. Perez hasn't had many wins in F1 despite being here for so long. And that is another fastest lap for Fernando Alonso. A 1 minute 44.541. So that's a really quick lap from Alonso there. But yeah, Perez hasn't had that many wins despite being in F1 for over a decade now. But now he is beginning to rake them in. Quite quickly with Red Bull. Oh, and there's a yellow flag in Sector 1, which has very quickly been cleared. Thank God for that. I was worried there for a second that something had gone horribly wrong. But alas, nope, nothing has gone wrong yet. And hopefully it will stay that way for the final couple of laps. Because in a minute we'll be coming in for lap 50 of 51, so we should be on the penultimate lap any moment now, I'd imagine. Yeah, we should be on the last lap, well, the second to last lap, in a good couple of moments. But yeah, this has actually been an incredibly good race, I cannot lie. I've really enjoyed this one. Oh, replay here of George Russell. Oh, not quite making the turn in turn 1, but managing to turn far enough when he did manage to turn to get back on track. That was weird to watch from George Russell there. But thank God he didn't crash. Right. Lap 50 of 51. The second to last lap. And it's Max Verstappen getting the fastest on the third to last lap with a 1 1 minute 44.474. And Alonso's done it again with a 1 minute 44.241. So that is really quick for Alonso there. And George Russell's pit crew is coming out with a set of softs, probably for a last lap, fastest lap attempt, I'd guess. That is probably what's going to be happening anyway. Okay. There we go. Right, this is definitely a fastest lap attempt tyre change. Okay. And today is the 29th anniversary of the passing of Roland Ratzenberger at the Imola Grand Prix in 1994. And tomorrow will be the 29th anniversary of course, the passing of Ayrton Senna at the same event. So, a very sad weekend overall, unfortunately. Oh, and here is Hulkenberg in for his pit stop. And the wind is ramping up, apparently, on the last lap of the race. But yeah, a very, unfortunately, sad weekend. Of course, next year will be the 30th anniversary of that tragic weekend in F1 history. Like, I know that is a weekend that everyone would so sorely want to forget or have gone differently. Like, if that weekend had gone differently, who knows how long Roland Ratzenberger and Ayrton Senna may have raced for. But yeah, this is the final lap. This is the last lap of the race. Oh. Okay. Ocon might be in trouble. Because he may not be able now to make his last lap. Oh no. He's going to do his last pit stop. He's going to do his pit stop now. Oh, this could be interesting because there are now people all over the pit lane. Oh, this could be quite dangerous. Oh, this is very dangerous. Oh my Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Whoa, okay. Whoa, okay. That was very close. Wow. Okay. Whoa. That was very dangerous there from Alpine. Like, there was photographers all over the entrance to the pit lane, and Ocon was very close to running a few over. Well, that was scary. But here comes Sergio Perez to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix with Max Verstappen, his teammate, just behind him. But yeah, that was very dangerous there from Alpine. What were they thinking? That was very dangerous. Wow. Oh, that was close. Wow, okay. And there's Charles Leclerc, 19 seconds behind them, coming in third. Okay, so that's Alonso's podium streak broken, unfortunately, for him, but whoa, that was... Oof. That was so dangerous there from Alpine. Thank goodness those photographers ran quickly, because that could have been quite disastrous. Oh wow, that was scary. That could have gone very badly, very quickly, if those photographers hadn't run out of the way as quick as they did. Oh boy, that was crackers. To be fair, why were they in the pit lane on the last lap? Surely they should have waited until after the race. That was... Oh, and George Russell has got the fastest lap with a 1 minute 43.370. Okay, but whoa, that was very dangerous there in the pit lane. And that is a very happy Sergio Perez on the radio celebrating his win. And a very deserved win of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I have to admit. Okay, I shall be on for another probably 5 or 10 minutes while the podium takes place. And then once the trophies have been handed out, I'll sign off. So yeah, I shouldn't be on for much longer now, but that was quite risky there from Alpine and the pit. Like, eesh. Wow, that was That was quite actually no, that was actually quite scary. Oof, that could have gone very wrong. Wow. Okay, so that's that race over and done with now. Okay. So now it's the week-long wait until Miami, which, as we know from last year, was quite a very good race. And here's Max Verstappen on the radio in P2. Okay. Okay. Right. And then everyone's in Parc Ferme now, ready for the podium. Right. Well, that race was actually quite interesting. And it went only just a little bit over what I had predicted by about 5 or 10 minutes, so not bad. Okay, and there's a very, very happy Sergio Perez. Okay. Yeah, has just been pointed out, Sergio Perez is very good on the street circuits, and Miami is a street circuit, so this could be another interesting race for Sergio Perez next weekend. That was a really good race. I can't lie. That was fun. Gutted for Fernando Alonso that he wasn't able to get on the podium again. I'm sure he'll claw it back eventually, but today just wasn't the day. But this time, it was Charles Leclerc's time to shine on the podium. Of course, there was a massive gap in the end between him and the Red Bulls, but third place was his nonetheless. Like, he still managed to get the third position. Okay, now I've got the post-race interviews with the top three. Okay. Okay. Well, that race was a bit chaotic. Like, Okay. So now all the drivers are getting ready for the post-race interviews, and then the podium ceremony, obviously. Okay. And that is a very, very happy Sergio Perez taking the win. Oh, and the post-race interviews are being done by 96 world champion Damon Hill. Yeah, Charles Leclerc made one hell of an effort today in the race. Despite only getting third, he did do amazingly throughout the race, so props to Charles Leclerc, frankly. Okay. Yeah, just a few more minutes, guys, and I'll be signing off the stream, ready for the AstCa tonight. Yeah, I really enjoyed that race. As I said, it was a massive improvement from the race in Australia a few weeks ago. So hopefully Miami next week is just as interesting as this race. Of course, as I said, it is Logan Sargent's home race, as while he isn't from Miami, he is from Tampa, which is also in Florida, so this is technically a home race for Logan Sargent. I'm not quite sure of the distance between Tampa and Miami, but I know they are both in Florida, so he can technically count this as a home race, so hopefully it goes quite well for the young American driver. Okay, and now we have, I think, yep, here comes Max Verstappen for his post-race interview with Damon Hill. Okay. Yeah, Max did get a bit unfortunate with the timing of the safety car, with him pitting just as it started. So he did get caught a bit short there. But hey, P2's pretty good still. Like, I believe he is still leading the championship now, but as has just been pointed out, if Sergio Perez wins again next weekend, he'll be leading the championship now, which is quite interesting, to be honest. I wasn't expecting that, really. But if he wins next weekend and Max Verstappen comes second again, Perez will be leading the championship. Okay. Oh, and there's Charles Leclerc's brother, Arthur, congratulating him on the win. Well, on the third place, I should say. And here comes the man who got the win, Sergio Perez. Yeah, and he is only the first person, and he is the first person ever to win 2 Baku Grand Prix. No one else has ever won a second. So Perez is the first man to do it. Well, 2.5 as well if you count the sprint race. So yeah, big congratulations to Sergio Perez on getting that achievement. But yeah, so the post-race interviews are just about done. That'll be the podium ceremony in a few minutes. And then once that's done, I'll sign this off. Okay. That was quite a close race between a lot of different drivers. Again, Verstappen Perez was quite close for a while, and then Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton was a very close fought battle right to the end. And then there was several other battles throughout the race, such as Sargent and Gasly. That went on for a while, and that was very closely fought between the two of them. But yeah, very close race there for a lot of drivers, and all of them did really well there. Of course, it was unfortunate for Nick De Vries that he had his little clipping of the wall, which knocked him out of the race, and then Zhou Guanyu's seemingly engine failure, that was a shame as well. But yeah, everyone else did a stellar job throughout the race, frankly. Okay. There's Sergio Perez winning the race once again. Because why the heck not? Gotta see a replay of that. Okay. Right. That was a really good end to the race, I can't lie. Fun race overall. Yeah, so I can imagine the drivers are in the cool-down room right now, getting ready to go on the podium, and then getting ready for the anthems and then the trophies. Yeah, and Sergio Perez's contract is up this year actually for Red Bull, so contract negotiations will be beginning soon, probably for him. So this is going to look real good in terms of that. Like they could potentially sign him on for another year or two, especially if he keeps doing this. So yeah, this could bode well for Sergio Perez and his career at Red Bull. Frankly, um, okay, yeah, here's the little bit in the ready in the not in the ready room. That's Star Trek. Cameron, come on, in the cool down room. Um, like this has gone pretty. I was gonna say they've all gotten the wrong seats again. God's sake. Like Max has taken Charles's, Charles has taken Perez's, and Perez has taken Max's. For God's sake. Okay, so they know how to drive a race, but they can't get in the right seats. Love that. Just love that. And they're just watching a little highlight reel of the race, seeing everything that happened, and some of the stuff they may not have seen themselves on the track. Okay, now they're just going to be chilling out for a moment or two before they're called up to the podium. Hmm. Yeah, overall, that was a very fun race. And here comes the three drivers for the podium ceremony. Okay, there's Charles Leclerc taking third place on the podium. And then here comes Max Verstappen for second. And of course, first place goes to Sergio Perez. And yes, this is Ferrari's first podium of the season, which going back to last year is quite surprising that it's taken them this long, but they got here eventually. Okay, I'll be signing this off in a moment or two once the podium's over. Just quickly shut up for the anthems. Mexican national anthem over. And here's the Swiss for no, the Austrian for Red Bull. Okay, that's the anthem's over. I'll just wait for the trophies to be handed out and then I'll sign this off. Okay. And there's the winner's trophy for Sergio Perez. Very happy about that. Okay. And here comes the winner's medal for Sergio Perez as well. Forgot about that. Okay, and here comes the Constructors' Trophy for Red Bull. Paul Everington, the head of electronics for the Red Bull team, accepting the Constructors' Trophy. And then we have the second place trophy for Max Verstappen. And then, of course, we have the third place trophy for Charles Leclerc in third. And that's where I'm going to sign this one off. So, right. Thank you all for joining me on this Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend. Really good race. Enjoyed the AstCa news at the start. Unfortunately, it wasn't as long as I was hoping. But yeah, really good race. Can't wait for Miami next week, so I will see you all tonight with the AstCast for this week, and next weekend with Miami Grand Prix race commentary. Bye, everyone!